Hi, this is Peter,
Hi, this is Sandra,
and we are Medievalist.net.
and today we are reviewing Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah, they another chance just came out today in North America and I think around the world. So
It has Charlize Theron and Kristen Stewart in it, and it's basically a fairy tale retelling with tremendous CGI in a medieval setting.
yeah,
Having said that, I liked it.
oh yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I don't think everyone's gonna like this kind of film. It's going to play for maybe for a younger audience, I can't see I can't see I can't see my grandfather. No, I'm thinking more of like the teen 20-year-old kind of audience. I think mind you, I don't think an older audience would see it anyway. So it's more of a young people's kind of thing.
I don't know. I think older people can enjoy it. I mean, the special effects are phenomenal. If you're into special effects and cool battle scenes, and there's even like, I won't ruin it. There's magical creatures and stuff, and it has a very Lord of the Rings type of feel. There's some shots in there that look like right out of Lord of the Rings, and if you go and see this movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, like
cinematography.
I think it's always kind of cool as even from how the sets and the costumes were done. I really like that in parts. The movie is not. It's a fantasy film and with kind of slightly based on the original Snow White tale, but more like yeah. I think they want to give it a more realistic, if you could say that. That's why they kind of like, and I think the actors were kind of talking about that before. They want to be a bit more medieval, more a little gritty, as opposed. But there's a lot of fantastical elements.
Yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings with Joan of Arc thrown in with some kind of like the Tudors. It's this mashable of that kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely not realistic. If you're looking for medieval realism, you're not going to find it here. You totally have to go into this movie and go, this is absolutely not based on reality, and I'm just going to enjoy this film for the battle and stuff, because it's completely...
I think that a medievalist in me is saying, this is like how a good medieval literature, like 12th century fantasy tale, that, that's how they would write it up, right? With, trolls and, evil birds, and you've got like kind of knight and heroic. It's just all the gender roles are all thrown around and stuff like that. So
yeah, I like the battle scenes. I mean, of course, the armor's totally probably way off and whatever, but you know what? It just looked cool, and there's a lot of slow-mo shots and a lot of CGI, but very, very. It's just really cool. It's like visually beautiful. It's not going to win an Oscar. Come on. Let's face it.
It might for cinematography.
For cinematography, it very well could. For acting, not so much. Charlize Theron does a good job of being the evil queen. I thought she did a really good job.
Yeah, I think so. Like
plays evil quite well. So.
Yeah, so she's done before. So it kind of drew parallels for like a movie we saw a few months ago called The Countess, where the woman, the evil woman character in that one, is kind of consumed by the desire to stay beautiful, right? In this case, she really has to stay beautiful. Has to do all sorts of things to kind of maintain that. Through magic and things like that. So
yeah, she's kind of has to do the same thing as Elizabeth Báthory and kind of murder girls to sustain her beauty and immortality, and she's got some very cool magical powers. She's kind of like, Saruman kind of thing. It's like really, and she even has this crown at one point that looks like something out of Lord of the Rings, like Sauron would wear. I thought it was awesome, this stuff, It's visually beautiful. Acting, that's all right. I mean, I didn't come into it going, this is going to be a powerful Oscar-winning performance. I just went into this kind of, actually dreading it a bit, but I came out of it pleasantly surprised. Did you have any favorite things without giving the movie away? Any favorite aspects of it?
I liked how they did Snow White as a character, right? To make it to give her that kind of sense of realism, right? She seems to be just an interesting kind of character. There's a bit of Joan of Arc in her, a bit of like you can see, where she's trying to kind of lead her people or lead the forces. I really like that. Um, the Again, I think a lot of me was stuck with the kind of imagination that the filmmakers had in doing certain scenes and just adding in little touches. Except for one little part of CGI with very little people that I thought was didn't work for me, but all the other kind of things kind of really did. So
I enjoyed the dwarves. They were awesome, and they were funny. It was a cool aspect that they threw in.
mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the dark. There was like a dark forest part of this movie that I don't want to spoil, but it was really kind of creepy in a Sleepy Hollow kind of kind of things coming out at you. And
well, they're drawing in lots of little elements from the original story, right? And they kind of play with it a little bit, kind of make it a little grittier, a little scarier, I guess, in some sense.
This is not the Disney Snow White. This is a darker, creepier, way more violent version. This is not something you're going to take a kid under 10 to see. At least I wouldn't. It's more for a tween and up. It's like a darker retelling. Like you wouldn't take Holden to see this.
Yeah, I have a 6-year-old son. I wouldn't take him to see it. I'd say if he was like 13, I said, "Oh yeah, go over, enjoy."
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's not a horror. Like there's nothing that's scary that like I'm gonna have nightmares about.
Well, yeah, but there's also things that I think a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
it's too much.
It's too much for a 6-year-old.
Violence it's stuff. But I enjoy it as an adult. I really enjoyed it and had a good time. And I think if you have teenagers, and Kristen Stewart of Twilight fame and Charlize Theron, and I think the guy who played in Shaun of the Dead was one of the dwarves. Gosh, his name slips my mind, and he was in Hot Fuzz too. There are actors in there that a tween will recognize and be like, "Oh, I really want to see this," and they do a fairly good job of it, and I really did expect it to be really cheesy cornball and way terrible, but I actually came out of it going, wow, that was fun. I didn't feel like I wasted 2 hours of my life. I was like, I've been to movies and come out and gone, wow, that there's $13 down the drain and 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. And I didn't come away with that feeling. I came away with, hey, this was a lot of fun. It wasn't an Oscar movie, but I just enjoyed it. It was just like a light kind of, hey, this is a fun movie type of thing.
Yeah. I think, you have to go into a movie with no real, big expectations for great acting or like shocking plot twists, right? This is Snow White. So we kind of know how it's going to end. But that being said, I think I think people will enjoy watching how it kind of unfolds. Just certain scenes, how they're just the look of it was done, I think, really well. And also, again, towards the ending, I thought the kind of partnerships, I guess, between Snow White and the others, I liked how it resolved. Mm-hmm. Although I think other people might not. So I thought that's the way I thought. Oh, that's a good way of doing it. So
I think the movie's visually stunning, and there's some movies where the CGI is just awful, and this they really put the money into the CGI. It was good. Mm-hmm. It was, you could actually really get into it, and it was just very, very well done. So let us know what you think and enjoy the film. And that's our review for Snow White and the Huntsman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night.